We're going to start out today's class. It's called Guard Thy Eyes. Guard Thy Eyes. All right. We're all blessed to be able to see out of our eyes. So guard your eyes. That's today's topic. Welcome to the Lions Roar 12 Tribes conference call. And we give the Most High much praise, much praise. His name is Yahawashi in the Hebrew tongue, the Lashawan Kadash. Other people call him, what they say in the Bible is God, but that's not his name. He has a name. When we say, hallowed be thy name, in order to hallow his name, you got to know the name. To hallow it, Yahweh is his name. That's how you hallow it. So we have to always think about the words that the prayer that Yahawashi gave us. It's a prayer that goes directly to his Father. So we have to hallowed be thy his name, which is Yahweh. In the Hashem, all that says is the name. That has no significance of the Father. Just like I have a name, you have a name, but it's not your name, right? Hashem. Oh, he has a name. His name is Yahweh, and it was given to his children. Anything else, any other nation that tries to say his name, that name becomes dreadful to them. In Nehemiah chapter 1, it talks about his name being called Al Shaddai, or El Eshadya in the Lashawan Kadash, El Eshadya. And El Eshadya, when you say El Eshadya, it means the God of terrors, the power of terrors. And so when these other nations call his name God, that's the power of terrors they're calling on. They don't know who they're calling on because they don't know the name. But we know his name. His name is Yahweh. It's in the book of Exodus, chapter 4, Exodus chapter 6. And it says Yah in Psalms, I think it's Psalms 107. I believe it's roughly paraphrasing, Psalms 107. But we know the name. His name is Yahweh. The Indians called his name Yahweh. We called his name Yahweh in Africa. But his son name is Yahawashi, meaning Yahweh, meaning the Father, that he exists, and Shai, meaning to save. Yahawashi. Now, in this new founded Yiddish Hebrew, they call him Yeshua. But that Yiddish is Polish. It's a European language, so it's not really the Lashawan Kadash. But just so you know, when we say, hallowed be thy name, you got to say his name, Yahweh. So Colossians chapter 3, verse 17, let's go there. And it reads, and whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Yahawashi HAMASHAYACH, Yahawashi, giving thanks to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and the Abba, the Father, by him. All praise to the Most High Yahweh, by Yahawashi HAMASHAYACH, Yahawashi, through the blood of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to the 12 tribes of Israel, who the Most High is worthy to be praised through his Son, Yahawashi. All praises to the Most High Yahweh. So let's go into this class. And again, this class is called Guard Your Eyes. And I want to go to Romans chapter 3. We're just going to jump right into the class. Let's go to Romans chapter 3. And let's go to verse 18. We're just going to read this one verse. Okay. So the world don't know who the Father is. That's why I said they call him God. Right? Let's start at 17. They don't know who he is. They don't know his name. They don't know what he desires of them. If they knew what he desired of them, they do what he asked them to do. But they don't know him. Only we know him, the children of Israel. Romans 3 and 17, and it says, and the way of peace have they not known. See that? The nations have not known the Heavenly Father, because peace represents the law, statutes, commandments. There is no fear of the Most High before their eyes. So the world don't know the fear of the Most High. If they knew the fear, they'd be breaking their necks to do what was right. There is no fear of Yahweh before their eyes. So when we look at the eyes are one of the most significant organs they have in our bodies, our eyes. Be able to see is a gift that the Most High gives us. With our eyes, we have a tendency to want things that we see. We can see almost everything with our eyes. Okay, but the Most High gave us 20/20 vision according to the scientific process of it, 20/20 vision. Now, you have animals that have much greater and better vision than us, like the eagle. The eagle can see for over 15 miles out, down to a strap middle of the head. He can see a tiny mouse running from 15 miles away. His vision is precise. You know, some people they use binoculars to have this type of vision, right, to be able to see that far. But the Most High gave us a certain parameter of vision, which is 20/20. Imagine if we had better than that, we'd be seeing the germs on our cups. We'd be seeing the cells. We'd be seeing everything. But the Most High gave us just enough, okay? But this is the vision that we're working with. You ever watch a newborn baby when it starts to figure things out? It sees unusual things. Babies, they start to fixate on things that are extravagant to their eyes, especially like sparkly things. Babies fixate on that type of stuff. Well, we as adults do the same thing. We fixate on shiny things. If you notice, when Esau puts a brand new car out there, it's shiny, it's bright, it's clean. They know how to trigger your eye. They know that we still like sparkly things. Our eyes has a lot to do with our spirits. Reasoning has a lot to play with it. So the reasoning that we have is not the reasoning of the Most High when we're dealing with things like this. It's coming from a worldly aspect when we see clean things or sparkly things, things that trigger our eyes. It's coming from a worldly aspect. It's not the reasoning of the Most High, okay? And so we have to understand as adults, especially in the truth, we have to condition ourselves to see the way the Most High sees. This is called being vision. The Most High's prophets, before they were called prophets, they were called seers, because they were able to see the way the Most High wanted to see. They were able to see the vision, his 10-year plan or his 100-year plan. They could see down the line. So they were called seers because they saw things differently than everybody else saw. Okay? They saw the way that the Most High saw. And so we have to learn that by seeing, when you're an adult, you should be able to reason. We should have good reasoning, and that reasoning should be in the ways of the Father. And because the reasoning can come from two different places. If you're of the world, that's a form of bad reasoning. Okay, unless you're just using things of the world to navigate through the world. But the good things are from the Most High. So we should kind of be lopsided more so towards the Most High. We should concentrate on the good things that the Most High has given us, not the bad things. Let's go to Genesis chapter 3. Genesis 3 and 5. We'll just read this as one verse. And it reads, "For the Most High, Yahawah, doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods," little gods, see that? Little powers, knowing good and evil. So this is when we came into this mind frame. The minds that we have today is the minds after the fruit was taken. What was originally sown in them? The law. So what fruit deceived Eve? It had to be something that was opposite of the law. It had to be a doctrine. It had to be somebody who came to her in sheep clothing and told her, you could be a God without God. You could be a power without the Most High. See? It's just like they tell you today. You have atheists that say there is no power. That's another doctrine. That's a fruit. So now you know what the fruit was. It was never a tangible apple or orange. The tangible thing was the law. That was the fruit. And other doctrines of fruits. That's why we tell you, stay away from Islam, stay away from Christianity, stay away from Judaism, stay away from, those are all fruits, different fruits hanging from a tree. And so you got to stay away from those fruits. All right, let's get back to the subject. The majority of things in this world that is presented to us, like I said, is bad and not good, right? According to the Most High. So when we look at the scriptures, all through the scriptures, the Most High gives us examples of our eyes and our minds. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 7. Proverbs chapter 7 and verse 2. Notice what he says, Proverbs 7 and 2. Remember, Eve was deceived by desire of her eye and her mind, and she lost her wisdom. Proverbs 7 and 2 says, keep my commandments and live. Remember, it said that our fathers in 2 Ezra 9 died because they kept it not. So keep my commandments and live. When you keep the commandments, you live forever. And my law as the apple of thine eye. This is maybe where they got that apple from, but they took it out of content. The law is considered an apple. The reason why they won't tell you this in the church is because they don't believe in the law. So they took the law out and just replaced it with the apple. So you got to keep the law. You see how the churches are going off? It's a different doctrine. And my law as the apple of thine eye. See that? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 3, verse 21. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 21. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Now we know what he's talking about. He's talking about the commandments. Let not them depart from thine eyes. You got two eyes. Let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So you got to have good reasoning. Sound wisdom and discretion. So all that plays a part into understanding. Wisdom. This is wisdom. Let's go to Matthew chapter 6, and let's see what Yahawashi said about the eyes. Matthew chapter 6 and verse 22. And it reads, the light of the body is the eye. So what is the light? The light is the lamp. When you look at Proverbs 6 and 23, let me get that, we'll come right back. When you look at Proverbs 6 and 23, it tells you what a lamp is. So the Most High utilizes the Bible to define it for us, to precept things to get understanding. Proverbs 6 and 23, it reads, Proverbs 6 and 23, it reads, for the commandment is a what? A lamp. For the commandment is a lamp. And the law is what? Light. And reproofs of instructions are the way of life. Discretion teaches you the way of life. You got to have good discretions. Reproofs, corrections, goes into 2 Timothy 3 and 15. That's where it's going. Reproof, correction, understanding. So let's go back to Matthew chapter 6. Matthew chapter 6, verse 22. Now you understand when it says the light, the law, the lamp, which is a commandment, of the body is the eye. Don't you know that your body is the living temple of the Most High? 1 Corinthians 6 tells you that our body is the temple of the Most High. So if you have the laws in your body, you are a light. If therefore thine eye be single, okay, what does that single represent? Righteousness. If therefore thine eye be righteous, the whole body shall be full of what? Light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. And If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? So, yeah, that's what we were talking about, that wickedness, you know. You don't keep the commandments, then you're on the opposite side of the commandments, which is darkness. So we have to understand these basic principles of the scriptures. This is the top knowledge on the planet. Nobody else could go against it, right? You should be very thankful that you're in the truth. This is the greatest truth on earth. So we know that darkness is the fruit of evil. That's another fruit. But our eyes, if our mind is not focused or in oneness or single, meaning righteous, we'll become what? We'll become what we see. So whatever we see, if you're watching TV and you're watching wickedness on TV, you're not guarding your eyes, you're on social media looking at different things all the time, and the social media is geared up to take you to strange fruits, to take you away from the Most High. That's what the whole thing about, so that's why it's coming at you in volumes. People just mesmerized with all this fruit, this low-hanging fruit on social media. It has adultery, it has sorcery, it has fornication. Everything that the eye is looking for on social media, it's there. It has comedy, whatever you're looking for. It has all types of strange fruit. Nothing is innocent about the engines of social media. Nothing. Esau knows what he's doing. So we see that the eyes are more like if you ever watched like the Wells Fargo carriage. What carries the Wells Fargo carriage? Horses, right? But who stops the horses? It's the man that's inside the carriage. So your eyes are like horses. You got two horses. And the same thing like a Wells Fargo carriage. They got two horses. Sometimes they have four. Sometimes they have two. But most of the time they have two. Your eyes are your horses. Wherever you turn your head, it wants to run. It wants to run. The only thing restraining your eyes is your mind, controlling it. Sometimes you miss things. You see things and you miss it. Well, that's your mind clouding your judgment to miss it. That little person in your brain, which is you, is controlling your eyes because your eyes are run away from you. Your eyes are run away from you without reason, without judgment, without understanding. Okay, so you have to learn to control your vision, control your eyes. A baby don't know how to control the vision. That's why they're so out of control. Especially when they start walking or running, they run wherever their eyes take them. They see and just boom, they explode because the mind hasn't formed yet. You see babies running in the streets, they run in the backyard. No, you see the mama chasing after them. They're like horses. So you have to learn how to control your eyes with your mind. You know, you got a lot of adults like that. What's the disease that they call mental illness is another form of that. People just run with their eyes. And you wonder why they did such things because their judgment is off. Let's go to Psalms 119, verse 37. Okay, and it reads, turn away mine eyes from beholding vanity. So we have to pray for that too. Because you could get stuck looking at things you're not supposed to be looking at. So we ask the Most High for protection against things like that, to prevent it from even going before our eyes. We ask for protection. Prevent me from seeing things that I don't want to see. That's going to cause me to be led astray. You have to pray for that. Turn away mine eyes from beholding vanity, vain things, things that trigger you. You get triggered, most of us get triggered by smell, by hearing, by eyes. Most of us by our eyes, we get triggered. So we have to pray that the Most High is able to control our senses by turning away our understanding from that. Turn away mine eyes from beholding vanity, and quicken thou me in thy way. Establish thy word unto thy servant, who is devoted to thy fear. See, we keep the commandments and we ask the Most High to turn us away from things. With your eyes, you could discern Before you even put pork up to your mouth, you can see that it's pork. If you couldn't see it, it'll go right into your mouth. You have to figure it out in your mouth what you're eating. And we ain't even supposed to touch it, that stuff. So the Most High gave you vision to see things, so you don't do it. King Saul, when you look at King Saul, he was the first king of Israel. He was known for his strong leadership, right? He was known for his military bravery, military might, his understanding of wars. He was great for that. But King Saul was a man of the Most High that got succumbed to poor reasoning. His poor judgment and vain things got him caught up. You know, he started to become bloodthirsty. You know, he started to do things that wasn't right according to the Most High. He thought he could make good judgments by not following the instructions of the Most High. But notice in the book of 1 Samuel, that Saul had his right mind in the beginning of his rulership. He had a single mind in the Most High. He followed the ways of the verse, "Hear, O Israel, the Most High power is one." He followed that. He had a singular mind. He had a righteous mind of Yahawah. Like Yahawashi said, if your eye be single, meaning focus only on the Most High, if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of what? Full of light. That's why when you see people, or even a woman, go through something like an abusive relationship with a man, the next relationship, a lot of times you'll see that woman using that abusive relationship to say, you know what, I'm going to get with a woman now because a man treated me so bad. So she lost focus on her mind, right? She lost focus. And when you lose focus on the Most High, your mind becomes reprobate. You have to look at that too. All these different examples that we have in front of us, we have to see. A lot of people use their childhood, like had terrible upbringing, a terrible childhood, and they start using drugs to cope. That's not oneness with the Most High. They lost their reasoning, and now they're reprobate. So reprobate meaning to be rejected by the Most High due to their persistent unbelief, due to their sinful belief in their behavior, weak-minded. And so we have to avoid this by praying. Prayer is very important. The Most High tells us to show ourselves as men and women. Show ourselves to be approved by him. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 4. Even the Philistines had this mind when they fought against us in war, when we were reprobate. Look at what the Philistines said. 1 Samuel chapter 4, verse 9. It reads, "Be strong and quit yourselves like men, O ye Philistines, that ye be not servants unto the Hebrews, as they have been to you. Quit yourselves like men and fight." The Philistines knew to be strong against Israel because we had lost our strength. We had lost our oneness. But the Most High tells us to be strong throughout the scriptures because a lot of times we were in captivity. If you look at Daniel, you look at Isaiah, you look at the prophets, when the Most High would visit them with angels, they would fall as if they had died, and he'd be like, stand yourself up like a man. Be strong before me. Stand up. You know, in Revelation 19:10, it said the same thing. An angel showed up, and who's that? John the Revelator went down on his knees to bow down to him. The angel said, stand up. You're my brethren. We have the same power, Yahawah. Stand up and show yourself as a man. And so we have to learn that. Look at, I want to show you a verse where the Most High says that to Israel. 1 Corinthians, let's go to 16. Let's go to John chapter 12. Let's attack it from this angle. Gospel of John chapter 12, and let's go to verse 40. Because, you know, people become reprobate. Even when you repent, you're supposed to change, right? But some people repent and stay reprobate. They do the same thing over and over and never change. They stay reprobate. And when they do that, this is what Yahawashi came for just that reason, because in the old covenant, we had people doing that, repenting, slaughtering animals, repenting, just to try to get in the grace of the Most High. And this is one of the main reasons why Yahawashi came. We're going to read about it here in John chapter 12, verse 40. But even Yahawashi can only do so much. And I'm going to show you. Guys like, or men like Saul can't be weak-minded. You know, you have to change. You have to follow the Most High's instructions. If you fall, you get up, you change right away. This is John chapter 12, verse 40. He have blinded their eyes and hardened their heart. Who did it? The Most High, because they were reprobate. Our people had lost their understanding of the Most High by not keeping his commandments and following the ways of the other nations. He have blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. So the Most High said he'll heal them, but they never repented and changed. They kept doing the same sin over and over. They never stopped. They wanted to change, but they didn't sincerely. The whole point of this is you cannot stand unless you repent. How can you be a penitent man if you never change? If you're able to change, then you can stand. Stand on your own 2 feet, right? When you look at Daniel chapter 9, Daniel gives a plea to the Most High. That whole chapter, you should read that chapter. He gives a plea to the Most High when the children of Israel were in captivity in Babylon. And if you read that, you'll see that he complains about us being lost. He complains about us being in sin. He complains about confusion of faces. We are in the midst of confusion of faces today. How? Nehemiah chapter 11, Nehemiah chapter 13, it talks about our forefathers who took the wives from the heathen nations and had children. Okay? And the children were speaking the languages of the other nations. The Most High told us to depart from that. And we didn't. So this is why when you get into the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 22, because Daniel spoke about the mercies, right? That he gives us continuous mercies while we're in captivity. Matthew 18 to 22, Yahawashi was preparing us for captivity when he said, forgive your brother 70 times 7. That's because we were going into captivity. He knew we was about to go into captivity, okay? Pursuant to the prophecy that he gave for that in John chapter, or Matthew chapter 21. Is it Matthew 21? I'm paraphrasing from the hip, okay? So, but there's a prophecy that he says when Jerusalem is surrounded, flee into the mountains, flee into the wilderness. He knew we were going into captivity. So Matthew chapter 18 to 22 says, forgive them 70 times 7. It's a form of boundless mercy and grace. Why did we get boundless mercy and grace? To form relationships within the Israelite community of the 12 tribes of Israel. It was a chance for forgiveness, to encourage each other. That's why you read the Gospels, and then you read the letters, right? Timothy, Titus, and all these different letters. That was for the encouraging of the believers. That was practicing unconditional love and patience. And so Yahawashi was preparing us for that so we could do what? Stand like men. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 10. Hebrews chapter 10. Now listen to what Yahawashi says in this verse. Really it's Paul, but he's speaking for Yahawashi because he understood what Yahawashi is about. Hebrews 10 and 26. Hebrews 10 and 26. For if we sin willfully, we do the sin willfully. If we do it over and over and over. For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. See that? So Yahawashi is saying, you keep doing this, there's no more sacrifice. I'm not going to go to the Father for you no more. You keep making the same mistake. I understand forgive your brother 7 times 70, but you keep doing it. And you're doing it with no consequence. You're doing it not even thinking twice about what could possibly happen to you. Let's go into the Apocrypha. Let's precept this. Sirach chapter 34, verse 25. Sirach chapter 34, verse 25. And it reads, he that washeth himself after the touching of a dead body, because you know it was a law that we could not touch a dead body or we became what? Unclean. For any kind of feast days, for anything, we became unclean. He that washeth himself after the touching of a dead body, if he touch it again, what availeth his washing? So here you are, you touching the dead body. You saying, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to touch his dead body. I repent. But then you go right back and touch it again. What sense does that make? You just repented. Here you are doing it again. It's like my son said when I was a young man raising him. He was a baby. You know, he's 20 now. But when he was like 3 years old, he said, Dad, he said, why we got to pray over this food again? Didn't we just pray over it yesterday? We was eating leftovers. He said, we just prayed over this. Why we got to pray over it again? And that's just like this, you know. He that washeth himself after touching a dead body, if he toucheth again, what availeth his washing? Why are you doing it again and again? Verse 26. So is it with a man that fasteth for his sins and goeth again and doeth the same? See that? Who will hear his prayer? Or what doth humbling profit him? So Yahawashi will not forgive you over and over for you doing the same sin like the Christian churches are telling you. They tell you, come down to the altar, let the pastor pray over you so he can help you forgive your sins. And then right after you forgive your sins, y'all go in the back. They got a church cookout. What they got back there? Crab, ham hocks, pork chops. What's that? They got catfish.
As you said, pork chops and catfish and crab.
Shrimps. I'll leave out them shrimps.
Okay, God. So y'all heard me say catfish, right? Don't be getting y'all lips all dribbly, because I said catfish. Don't go back, slip back into sin. But so Saul did this very thing, right? He repented, and then he went and did something else. And by that time, the Most High forgot him. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 28. 1 Samuel 28. And let's go to verse 3. All right? As we read 1 Samuel 28, notice what it says. It says, now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had lamented him. Who was Samuel? Samuel was the prophet that Saul followed. That was the priest of Israel at that time. He's a prophet, actually, of Israel at that time. And Samuel waited on him to give him instructions to do the will of the Father. But Samuel walked away from Saul after he had sinned greatly. And the Most High then took Samuel. So Saul felt like he had no insurance on anything at that point. He didn't want to go against the Father's will after sinning. And then it says, and all Israel had lamented Samuel and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. So right there, he was following his right mind by putting away the wizards out of the land, right? That was the right thing that he should have did. So he did a blessed thing, casting out the sorcerers and the witches out of Israel. People would no longer seek psychic stores or go to these fronts, these storefronts where these witches were, because a lot of these witches and sorcerers and psychics were on the highways and byways to lead people astray. So people were able to see these people with their eyes, these witches, these warlocks. They were able to see it with their eyes. Just like today, we got psychic stores set up in certain parts of the neighborhoods, right on the main strip, right on the main street, right next to 7-Eleven or any of these grocery stores or what. They're right there. So it was a blessed thing to remove these wicked sites out of the way. Where did Saul get that command? When we look at this, Why did Saul do it? Where did he get this command? It's written in the Torah. It's one of our laws. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28, or Deuteronomy 18, actually, and let's find that law. Deuteronomy 18, and let's find it. All right, let's go down to Deuteronomy 18, verse 9. Now, this is where Saul got this instruction from, right? It was given to Moses and the Israelites when they were in the wilderness. And it reads, when thou art come into the land which the Most High thy power hath given thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. So the other nations had this stuff. Even if you go into Africa today, they got all types of sorcery in Africa. They practicing voodoo. You go down to South America, they're practicing brujeria. You know, they're practicing all these divinations, these wicked things that we shouldn't even be seeing with our eyes. But this is what they're doing. Verse 10, it reads, there shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that uses divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, like numerology. That's that observer of times, numerology, right? Don't follow that stuff. That's low fruit hanging low for you to grab and go off. Or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer. People dealing with cards or tarot cards, what they call them, not tarot, I forget what they call it. They're cards, though. Or some people use bones, like in the voodoo day. They use bones and stuff like that, right? What do you say, sis?
Tarot cards.
What
they call them?
Tarot cards. That's it. That's right. You know, don't fall victim to that. Ouija boards, and so we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. You know, don't fall victim to these things. Or a consulter with familiar spirits. Or a wizard, right? Or a wizard. Or a necromancer. What is a necromancer? Somebody dealing with dead bodies, like Marilyn Monroe. When she died, you had all these elites. They paid for somebody to fix her up so they could go in there and have sexual orientations with her. Those are necromancers. Wickedness. Deuteronomy 18 and 12, for all that do these things are an abomination unto the Most High. And because of these abominations, the Most High thy power doth drive them out from before you. Thou shalt be perfect with the Most High thy power. So when you stay away from these things, the Most High is going to make you perfect because he sees that you have a mind to do right. So in the kingdom, there will be no Merlin the magicians. There will be no Alistair of Scotland. There will be no Harry Potters or no Gandalfs from the Hobbit or what they call, or any headmaster of the Hogwarts in our land. And you understand, ain't going to be none of that stuff in our land when we go back to the kingdom. The Most High don't want us even to see them. So this was the ordinance that we were to follow. Back in those days, things like that. If they stayed in our land, we would take them out. Okay? I think that's in the book of Exodus. There's a law where we ain't even supposed to have them around us. Let's go there. Exodus 22 and 18. I'm not saying do that today. You know, they got laws that protect them in this land. But in our land, they couldn't even be doing stuff like that, or we take them out. Exodus chapter 22, verse 18. Let's go there real quick. Exodus chapter 22, verse 18. It reads, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. See that? Witch, a.k.a. psychic, a.k.a. sorcerer, a.k.a. charmer, necromancer. We didn't deal with any of these type of individuals in our neighborhoods because why? They would lead us all astray eventually. This is why Saul put them out. They would lead us astray. Just the filthy words coming off the lips will lead you astray. Before you know it, you be sitting there listening and starting to believe what they say. And then that's when reprobateism comes into your mind. Let's go to Psalms 101. So it starts with the eyes, and then it filters through your mind. And if your mind ain't right, you'll be stuck. Not to drift off, but just to take you to a story that I know. I knew a young man who I tried to bring into the truth, who had demons on him. And he lived down in Texas he lived deep in the woods, right? So he had these demons on him when nobody wanted to be around him. One of his elder family members had died, and he inherited the home, like a one-story house. And he was in there using drugs, and them demons was getting to him. He literally tore up the whole entire house, just tore the house up completely. Sheetrock, concrete for the foundation. He thought he had heard demons underneath the foundation and started taking a shovel and went all the way around the house digging, trying to get underneath the slab so he could kill the demons. It's a true story, no lie. He tried to get to the demons when in actuality it was all in his head. It was in his spirit. He was infested with demons through the drugs. And drugs have a tendency to do that to you. You use a little bit of drugs, you use a little bit more, you open up your vessel to demons. And your eye, which is your mind, becomes polluted. What happened to him? This is what happened to him. He ended up going to jail. When he got out in jail, he couldn't understand why he was so messed up. They was about to classify him as mentally insane. He just fasted while he was in jail a few months. And when he got out, his mind was healed. Hopefully doesn't crave for the drugs again, because if it does, he's going to go right back into that same state and the house is going to become worse. So he has to fight with that. That's his issue. Psalms chapter 101, verse 3. Psalms 101, verse 3. And it's the same thing with the music too. Be mindful of the music that you listen to. Psalms 101, verse 3. I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. See that? This is how we have to practice ourselves. I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. They turn our people away. It shall not cleave to me. See that? So we have to change our ways. And Saul, although he banished these wizards, although he banished these warlocks and all these tarot card readers, he lost his reasoning of oneness after Samuel died and sought after the witch of Endor. And then the Most High rejected him. All right? He rejected him again because he was already doing things that was unfamiliar. So why did he search out this witch? Why did he consult her for guidance? Why did he do it? He did it because he wanted to win against the Philistines. He had a great war coming. He wanted to beat the Philistines. So he was looking for consultation, and he sought it in the wrong areas. When you start seeking after consultation from the wrong people, it leads you to death. It leads you down to Hades. Go to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 7. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 7. Then said Saul unto his servants, seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. That's he looked for consultation. And his servant said to him, behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor. What is a familiar spirit? Someone who could familiarize themselves with someone who has died, or someone that is lost. Okay, they could channel spirits to them. They could channel spirits. There is a wicked side of the world. There is an evil side of the world where people do see spirits. And you have to understand that by the Most High, by you keeping the laws of the Most High will protect you, but don't break that band and continue to do it, because he will open that door for you to fall into that. They got powers too. Don't try them. Don't try that spirit. Leave that spirit alone or rebuke it. 1 Samuel 28:8. Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment, and he went, and two men with him, and they came to the woman by night, and he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto you. So Saul was looking for consultation through this witch he wanted her to channel the spirit of Samuel through her so he could talk to Samuel. Let's jump down to verse 11. Then said the woman, whom shall I bring up thee? And he said, bring me up Samuel. See that? He wanted Samuel to come through her and talk to him, which is wicked. And when the woman saw Samuel, she saw the spirit of Samuel, but Saul could not see it, but she saw Samuel coming. She cried with a loud voice, and the woman spoke to Saul, saying, why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. She recognized who this man was that was summoning Samuel the prophet. And the king said unto her, be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. So before she got to Samuel, she's like, you know, you scroll through things, you're scrolling, and she's scrolling through familiar spirits, and she's seeing, the closer she gets to Samuel, she's seeing Israelites ascending into the heavens. It's like, I'm in the wrong realm here. She finally gets to Samuel. Verse 12. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice, and the woman spoke to Saul, saying, why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. And the king said unto her, be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. Remember, Yahawashi says, isn't it written in your book that ye are gods? We're little gods, little powers under the Most High. So she saw all these Israelites who had passed away and that was arrested, that was ascending to heaven, and he's into the spirit world. And he said unto her, what form is he of? And she said, an old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed himself. And Samuel said to Saul, why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines. Now he's talking to the woman. And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me. And the Most High is departed from me, and answereth me no more, neither by prophets, nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do. He's consulting Samuel through this woman. And Samuel is still in the right frame of mind in the spirit world, because he kept the laws and he's ascending to the Father. Then said Samuel, wherefore then dost thou ask of me? Why are you asking me? Seeing the Most High is departed from you and has become thine enemy. So Samuel, even in that form, knew that Saul was off. Why are you consulting me? Why are you bothering me? You went off by just coming through this medium. And the Most High have done to him as he spoke by me, for the Most High have rent the kingdom out of thine hand and given it to thy neighbor, even to David, because thou obeyest not the voice of the Most High, nor executest his fierce wrath upon Amalek, the Edomites. Therefore hath the Most High done this thing unto you this day. See that? So by Saul seeking familiar spirits, he found the familiar spirit. Most High allowed him to find the familiar spirits because he had moved away from the Father. So there was no more protection for him. And when he sought Samuel through the medium, Samuel in his right mind told him, look, you're going off. You're going to die today. That's, if you read further on down, that's what Samuel tells her. You're going to die in war. You know? Reprobate. Let's go to Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 10, verse 12. Sirach chapter 10, verse 12. And this was Saul. This is what happened to him. The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High. So as soon as you start getting prideful, as soon as you think you're something that you're not, as soon as you start boasting, you start throwing yourself in there before you throw the Most High in there. Guess what? The Most High departed from you. And his heart is turned away from his maker. Oh, yeah, we the best. You know, you can't come to us unless you look like this. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination. And therefore the Most High brought upon them strange calamities. You'd be like, why is this happening to him? Why did he go so far off? Saul stooped low, really low, you know. And you can look at people that way too. Like, he was in the truth and he was doing this so well. What happened to him? He stooped so low. Strange calamities. And overthrew them utterly. See that? So the Most High is the judge, and you humble yourself before the Most High at all times. Never think that you're better than what you are under the eyes of the Most High. You do what's right in his eyes always. All right? Never say that you're the chosen. Don't boast on that note. Let the Most High call us the chosen. Let the Most High call us perfect, but you don't call yourself perfect. You don't call yourself the chosen. Let the Most High do it. Sirach chapter 23, verse 19. Yes, we are a chosen people, but do not call yourself chosen. All right? Let the Most High do that. Sirach chapter 23, verse 19. Sirach chapter 23, verse 19. And it reads, such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts. How did Saul actually go to the witch of Endor? Didn't he disguise himself? He's hiding from men. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men. Saul was fearing the eyes of men. He's hiding himself. And knoweth not that the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. When a man is committing adultery and he's sneaking in the hotels, he's cloaking himself. He's doing it at night, parking in the back of the hotel, cloaking himself. But the Most High sees him, 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts. That blanket ain't going to hide you. You under the sheets. They ain't going to hide you. Verse 20. He knew all the things ever they were created. So also after they were perfected, he looked upon them all. The Most High is looking at those whom he loves. Right? And he's going to perfect those who he loves, who comes to him with a contrite heart, contrite spirit. Let's go to Sirach chapter 15. Sirach chapter 15 and verse 17. Sirach chapter 15, which is also known as Ecclesiastes, chapter 15, verse 17. And it reads, this is the same thing he said in the garden. Before man is life and death. So life is keeping the commandments, death is without the commandments. Before man is life and death, and whether him liketh, shall he give him. Whatever you like the most is what he gonna give you. If you love sin, guess what's gonna come? Death. If you love keeping the commandments, guess what's gonna come? Life. You be the one to choose. He put that out. You want to have what they call that, having freedom to choose. You know, you could choose whatever. Is that what they always call it in church these days? You get to choose. Yeah, you choose life or you choose death. Either you like death by sinning or you like life by keeping the commandments. For the wisdom of the Most High is great, and he is mighty in power and beholdeth all things. See that? And his eyes are upon them that fear him, and he knoweth every work of man. He hath commanded no man to do wickedly, neither hath he given any man a license to sin. So some men think they have a license to sin. They can do whatever they want and get away with it. Look at Trump. He thinks he has a license. Look at Netanyahu. He's just killing people. He thinks he has a license to kill. No man has a license to sin. See that? So what's going to happen? Death is coming for those people that think that way. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 7. Proverbs. And that's what happened to Saul. He chose death. Proverbs chapter 7 verse 1. Proverbs 7:1. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with you. Keep my commandments and what? And live. And my law as the apple of thine eye. There's that apple again. What is the apple? The law. Now, our ears are just as important as our eyes. But just imagine what Lot saw, even though he heard the filthy things in that city of Sodom. Imagine what he saw. He saw things too. Not only did he hear filthy, wicked communication, but he saw things. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 6. And it reads, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly. An example. So now you could go to that region of the world, right? If you were to go to the region where Sodom was, which is where the Dead Sea is today, if you went there, you know, you could see the embers, the charred embers, you can see the charred rocks, you can see the desolate water of the Dead Sea today. Why can you see it? Why? Because the Most High left it an example. You can see it with your eyes that it happened, that the Most High exists. All that stuff that he destroyed is there to this day. Yes. So that was made an example for us to see today, to let you know that the Most High is real, right? The pyramids is there, so we know that that was real. It's all to convince us that this thing happened. Let's continue to read 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 7. And delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. So he was vexed with it, couldn't stand to hear it. Just like us today, I can't stand to hear this garbage. People are so bold with telling you, oh, I'm gay, or I'm homosexual. Do you know that I have a husband, and he's a man, and I'm a man? They're so quick to tell you stuff out of pride, right? That's what they call their parade, gay pride or gay pride week. It's all about pride with them. They're going against the Most High. They're worthy of death pursuant to Romans 1:26. It says, all these people, let's go there real quick so y'all don't think I'm making this up. Let's go to Romans chapter 1. I don't just be saying things. Romans chapter 1, let's start at 26, and let's read all the way down. Romans 1:26. For this cause, this is all reprobates. This is that pride, right? For this cause, the Most High gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change their natural use. What's the natural use? A woman being with a man. Into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men did it too. Leaving the natural use of the woman, they got with men. Or they did a transgendership, changed their sex. Burn in the lust one towards another. Isn't that going on today? Men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, right? They don't want the Most High, they don't believe in him. Yahawashi gave them over to a reprobate mind. In other words, the Most High is done with them. He's their enemy. To do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whispers, they're whispering behind your back, right? You don't even know it. Backbiters, haters of the Most High, they hate the Most High. See that? Despiteful, proud, there it is, that pride, boasters, inventors of evil things, like movies, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful. This is all strange fruit. who knowing the judgment of the Most High, because they know he's coming, that they which commit such things are worthy of what? See, I didn't make this up. Not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. They are Satan's sacrifice. The Most High is going to, because they follow these strange doctrines and these strange understandings. So I told you I'm not making this up. It ain't me. It's him. He said it, not me. All right. So let's go back to 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. And it reads, the Most High knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment, to be punished. So he knows how to keep us protected. He's reserving us. You know what reserves mean? It means to have them in the backup, to protect them, to keep them away from evil. When you have something in reserve, nothing can get to it, right? So he has us in reserve. Not only did Lot hear, but he also saw, right? We saw that up there. I just want y'all to see it again. Verse 8. For the righteous man dwelling among them in seeing, so he saw, and hearing, vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. So he saw the wickedness. He saw it. So just like today, don't let Esau convince you that you are not the people of the Most High. When there are signs all over the place. All over the world there's signs that tell us that we was in captivity, that we lost our land, and we lost our heritage. Like I said, are not the pyramids in Egypt still standing? And you can see it? You can see it, right? Shoot. I mean, do we not have museums of the African heritage museums, of the indigenous Indian museums that highlight slavery, that highlight us losing our land, our heritage? How about the caste system? All right, we're in the caste system today. We can only get so high in whatever bracket that we're in. We can only get so high. Look at Trump. Trump is going after all the cities with black mayors. That ain't the caste system. Look at the Senate. Look at the House Congress. All right? This is Babylon. This is called Mystery Babylon. We can see it with our own two eyes. We can see everything. And when you can see it, you recognize it being in the truth. What's going on? Let's go to Ecclesiastes. We're almost done. Ecclesiastes chapter 7. This is a topic that could go on and on, actually. But we're going to end it pretty soon. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. Ecclesiastes 7, verse 7. And it reads, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Oppression. Are we not people of the oppressed? Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. They give us gifts to shut us down, to keep us quiet. Government aid, WIC, food stamps. They give us gifts. They give you a bonus at work, keep you around. Let's go to Psalms chapter 34. These are gifts that destroys us. They destroy our hearts. We don't think nothing about it. But we'll figure it out eventually. Psalms 34, verse 15. I got 3 more verses after this one, and we'll end it. Psalms chapter 34, verse 15. It reads, the eyes of the Most High are upon the righteous, his reserve, and his ears are open unto their cry. So that's why I said pray. If you pray, the Most High will hear you. If it's within his rightful accord, he'll give you what you need to fight the battle. He'll give you what you need to get out of the battle. Okay? The Most High hears prayers. The Most High will let us see our enemy's downfall. He'll let us see if we pray for it, if we keep his laws, if we keep his commandments. He'll allow us to see it. Psalms 91, verse 8. It reads, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Now, why would we want to see a reward of the wicked going down? Right? Because of what they've done to us. Now, there's a verse in the Apocrypha that says, never rejoice on your enemy falling. And that's talking about your own people. That's not talking about these other nations that got us in captivity. It says, do not rejoice on seeing your enemy fall. It's talking about your own brother, your own, sometimes people in your own household could be your enemies. Your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister. You know, you have a sibling rivalry sometimes where you see somebody get something else and it turns into a crab in the bucket type of thing. Oh, you're not going nowhere. I'm jealous of you. When they fall, don't rejoice over them falling. Be happy when they get something that they achieved. Don't rejoice on their falling. But when it says in Psalms 91 and 8, only with the eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. That reward is destruction to the wicked. And that's to the people that put us in captivity. All these other nations that are not of Israel. They subjugate us every day. And that's why Yahawashi is coming back with vengeance. He says he has it in his heart. Let's go to Revelation 1. There would be no reason for Yahawashi to have vengeance in his heart to return if he didn't have anything against the nations. He would be coming back with flowers and roses and daisies in his hand, if that was the case. But he's coming back to bring judgment on the earth for what they did to us. Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. Notice what he says. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds. What are the clouds? The clouds are the chariots, the UFOs. The cloud. Why would it call the cloud? Why would he come with clouds? Let's go to Daniel real quick. Hold that verse. Let's go to Daniel. Why would he come with clouds? Of all things, why would he come with clouds? Daniel 7 and 13. Look at what it says. Same thing. This is in the Old Covenant. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man. That's Yahawashi. He called himself the Son of Man. Came with the clouds of heaven and came to the Ancient of Days. That's his father, Yahweh. And they brought him near before him. Who brought him near before him? Remember, there's other archangels in the kingdom. Let's go to Revelation 4. There's other archangels in the kingdom. These are who brought those clouds and Yahawashi in. They had to be ushered into the Father. They had to get authorization first. It's ran like a kingdom. You just don't run up on the Father. Revelation 4 and let's go to Revelation 4 and 5. These are the Most High's bodyguards right here. Revelation 4 and 5. And out of the throne proceeding lightnings and thunderings and voices, and there were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of the Most High. The 7 holy angels before the Most High. They're his bodyguards. And before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal, and in the midst of the throne and round about the throne were 4 beasts full of eyes before and behind. See that? And the first beast was like a lion, and the second beast like a calf, and the third beast had a face as a man, and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle. So you can't attack this angel from no angle. His face, every side of his face is something. And he had eyes all over. And the 4 beasts had each of them 6 wings about him, and they were full of eyes within, and they rest not day or night, saying, Holy, 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 Yahweh Almighty, which was and is to come. That's the Ancient of Days. Let's go back to Daniel. Daniel chapter 7, verse 13. Let's go back there. Daniel 7 and 13. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. See that? And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and the kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. All other kingdoms are going to get destroyed. All right? So Yahawashi, let's go back to Revelation 1 and 7. Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. Revelation 1 and 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. What eye? Let's go to John chapter 1, Gospel of John chapter 1, and let's go to the last verse. Gospel of John chapter 1. Let's start at 50 to see who's saying this. John chapter 1, verse 50. As he was talking to his disciple Nathaniel. Let's start at 49 so you can see who he talked to. John 1 and 49. Nathanael answered and saith unto him, Rabbi, thou art the Son of the Most High. Thou art King of Israel. Yahawashi answered and said unto him, Because I said unto you, I saw you under the fig tree. He sees everything. Believest thou? Thou shalt see greater things than these. And he saith unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto you, hereafter ye shall see heaven open, and the angels, the clouds of the Most High, ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. See that? That's the same thing we read about in Daniel. He's the Son of Man, Yahawashi. Let's go back to Revelation 1 and 7. So every eye will see him. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. Who pierced him? The Romans, the Edomites. They pierced him. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen. So he is coming back, and he's coming back with his angels. And guess what? We will see him. All of us will see him. So this is what we have to be in store for. This is why I say guard your eyes so you can see this happen. Like Nathaniel, his disciple that we just read about in the book of John, he said he's going to see him coming back in glory, which means he's going to resurrect and he's going to see him coming back. All right? So I hope this class was a blessing to you. Guard your eyes. Like this, like I said, this class could have just went on and on and on because various ways to attack this topic. But I think this is good enough for today. Most High will it. He gave it to us to discuss. Are there any questions, comments, or statements as we end this class? All praise to the Most High Yahawashi HAMASHAYACH Yahawashi Barakatah.
This is the word of the Lord of hosts. I took you from the pastures and from following the sheep to be prince over my people Israel. I have been with you wherever you have gone and have destroyed all the enemies in your path. I will make you a great name among the great ones of the earth. I will assign a place for my people in Israel. There I will plant them, and they shall dwell in their own land.